Hey, welcome to Zach's Tech Turf and weekly download episode number 129. On today's episode, I'm going to be playing some Anthem when I give you this news. I'm actually probably going to be playing on this computer. I got my cup of coffee over here. Make sure you guys let me know in the comment section what you're sipping on. Let's get into it. Before we get into the tech and PC gaming news, let me quickly introduce the sponsor of today's video, Dev Mountain. Dev Mountain is a 13-week class for all of you aspiring iOS and web developers out there. The 13-week class focuses on providing you only the skills that you actually need to go out there and start your new career in coding. They don't waste time with a filler curriculum like at a traditional college. They also feature student housing at no extra cost, a variety of different classes including UX design and QA testing, and most importantly, all of this is available at an affordable price. Head on down to that first link in the description to learn more if you're interested in getting that quick boost you need to start your new career in coding and design. To kick off the tech news for the week, we are finally starting to get some solid rumors about the GTX 1650 and 1660 graphics cards, and it looks like they're definitely arriving in March and April. If you haven't already, then check out my video about the 1660 Ti that I just released earlier this week. As we saw in that video, the first mid-range Turing card that's not an RTX card is actually pretty solid in terms of price to performance. We can only hope that the 1660 and 1650 follow suit as well. In more Nvidia GPU news that I'm honestly more excited about, Nvidia quietly released their new MX250 and MX230 mobile GPUs, and I'm definitely trying to get my hands on the MX250 as soon as I see one for sale. Last year I uploaded a video about the MX150 and you guys loved it, so I'm trying to copy that with the newer version. As of right now, the only laptop that I've heard of so far that's packing the new MX250 is the new Huawei line, which I don't think is out yet, so hopefully these roll out to newer laptops here soon. Next up, Coolermaster released a pretty interesting new keyboard that I want to quickly talk about, and that's because it's packing pressure-sensitive keys. This is the $200 Coolermaster MK850, and apparently the entire 4mm range of key press is measured instead of a binary 1 or 0. This keyboard is also packing Cherry MX switches, so they're not cheaping out there, and I can really see a use for these type of keyboards with like racing games, so you can actually use a keyboard if you really wanted to. Other than that, I can definitely see walking speed in games be affected by this, but the developer would specifically have to program that in, so I'm not sure how much use we'll get out of these keyboards anytime soon. And to wrap up the tech news for the week, there's an absolute nightmare going on at whatever office is naming the latest USB standards, because now that USB 3.2 is coming out, they've jacked up the naming scheme even more than it already is. So get a load of this. The new USB 3.2 is coming out in 3 different flavors at all different transfer speeds. USB 3.2 Gen 1 will have 5 gigabit per second transfer speeds, USB 3.2 Gen 2 will have 10 gigabit per second, and USB 3.2 Gen 2 X2 will have 20 gigabit per second. Like, what human on this planet thought that this was a good idea? To top it all off, if you don't want to see any of these ridiculous number schemes that they made, it's even worse with the wording schemes. USB 3.2 Gen 1 is called Super Speed USB, USB 3.2 Gen 2 is called Super Speed USB 10 gigabit per second, and USB 3.2 2x2 is called Super Speed 20 gigabit per second. I could go on all day about how this is really setting the human race backwards, but I digress. Let's move on to the PC gaming news. Fortnite is actually out and about with some news that I'm willing to report about this week, as they are now bringing in an Apex Legends-like ping system, which was a really fast turnaround if you ask me. Before moving on, make sure you watch my recent Apex Legends benchmarking video if you haven't already. Anyways, yeah, after only a couple of weeks, Fortnite has completely ripped off the ping idea, which everyone is loving by the way, and it's now coming to Fortnite here soon. The Fortnite ping system isn't nearly as in-depth as the Apex Legends version, so as of right now, there's no ping wheel where you can manually describe what you're actually pinging, but either way, I'm pretty impressed that they're adding this much desired feature so quickly. Next up, GOG or Good Old Games is apparently having some serious financial troubles, as they just had to lay off over a dozen people, which is definitely sad to hear. If you don't already know, GOG offers DRM free games, so you don't have to log into a platform like Steam, Stay Online, or anything like that. So if there was ever a good time to support these guys, it's right now. I'm seriously thinking about going to buy a game over there right now just to support them, so let me know down in the comment section what I should pick up. Microsoft is in the news this week, as Microsoft insiders are now testing playing Xbox games natively from within Windows 10. Over the past few years, Microsoft has been doing more and more to integrate the Xbox in Windows 10. We've all seen that annoying Xbox app at this point, but it does indeed look like we're getting closer to that reality. I've even heard some rumors that the new Xbox could potentially just be a Windows 10 gaming PC. Make sure you check out Brett from UFD Tech's video on Wednesday about this, but we shall wait and see what comes of this. And finally, to wrap up, one of my favorite news pieces of the week, a non-profit company found that the CEOs of both Activision and EA are on the list of the most overpaid lead CEOs in the United States. This list is based off of how much money the CEO gets compared to the average employee, and because the EA CEO made $35 million last year and the Activision CEO made $28 million, they made the list. Ironic considering their massive layoffs in the past few years. Well, there you have it. That wraps up weekly download episode number 129. Now feel free to head on over to one of these two videos if you haven't seen them yet, and definitely hit that subscribe button because next week we got yet another PC build guide coming. You don't want to miss that video.